right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Money Matters. After very, very long break, we are back again at the show. So, thank you so much for all of you who decided to join us today. Really, really appreciate it. If you guys are wondering if you're new to Money Matters, welcome to the show. Money Matters is basically a show that we have that happens live where we feature many amazing speakers who share their personal experiences with regards to personal finance management, business management, and all of that as well. I think money is something that is in all of our lives, whether you have a lot of it, whether you have a little bit of it, really doesn't matter. It plays a huge role in most of our lives. And if we can learn how to manage it to the best of our abilities, we will definitely lead a much more happier lives. So it's something that we all should be learning about, especially if you are watching, the ones who are watching, you're a youngster, you're a student right now. You may not see the importance of learning how money works at this age, but what you guys learn now will definitely make a huge difference in your future. That's personally what I've experienced in my life, and everyone I've met, most people would say, I wish I had learned this when I was younger. Hence why we have the Money Matters show as part of the teenageentrepreneur.com as well as Ascendance, so that many of you will have the opportunity to learn what people wish they had learned, and they regret not learning, and they tell me this when they're in 40s, 30s, 20s. You guys have an opportunity to learn it at a much earlier stage. All right, so we are live on Sundays, alternative weeks. We have had topics from like the technical topics from like budgeting and how to do, how does tax work and all those kind of stuff, to individuals' personal experiences where they really just share, be vulnerable, and share what they have gone through in life. And of course, now and then we will have some solo episodes featuring myself, where I get to share some of the stories of the people that I've been working with, and different things that I personally have been observing with regards to personal finance in my journey. And I would love to share that with you guys. In fact, today's episode, getting back on track, it's just going to be me and you guys, and I hope all of you interact and are more than happy to share your thoughts with me in the chat box. We are going to be sharing about how can we get back on track. All right, so if you're tuning in, and I think some of you have already started to watch it, please do drop a hello in the chat box. It would truly mean a lot to me to see who is watching, what are you looking for in today's episode. And at any point, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box as well. I'll be super excited to answer your questions. One amazing thing that I wanted to give a shout out to is actually the book Money Matters, which is the book that I wrote, actually was released a year ago. In fact, on the 9th of December 2021, which is just about 4 days from now, 4 to 5 days from now, we 1 year ago we published our book Money Matters. It was definitely one of the most amazing moments of my life. This book basically compresses whatever I've gone through in the past 7 years, as a student, as a young adult. What did I learn about making money? What did I learn about managing money? What did I learn from the people that I work with? What are some principles that we should apply in terms of money? I kind of compress all of that into a small book, short book, with a lot of pictures, a lot of fun, where anyone who reads it, doesn't matter what age you are, you will definitely able to take something away from it. So you guys can definitely check that book out if you have not gotten it yet. It is available for sale on Ascendance's website. So I'm going to drop the link to the ebook and audiobook package, because I think the ebook and audiobook package is something very, very close to my heart. Most times, like, I think when if you are like me, I tend to be lazy when I read a book. I prefer somebody reading it to me. It seems like a whole lot more fun. So the audiobook version of it is actually read by me, and it kind of like gives you the perspective of actually, like, just like how I wrote it. In fact, I wrote it like how I would speak to people. So if you are listening to the audiobook, you would definitely feel the same as well. So do check out the audiobook and ebook. It comes with both of it being accessible on the teenageentrepreneur.com. All you have to do is get your copy. Of course, the moment you get it, it's with you for the rest of your life. And you can listen to it on your phone or on your laptop. It really doesn't matter. So do check out the Money Matters ebook and audiobook on Ascendance's website. Or if you like a good old physical book, you're the kind of people who like to unwrap it and see it, then you can definitely check out the physical book as well, also on ascendancepro.com. All right. So 1 year anniversary truly means a lot. All of you who have already gotten the book, you guys mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for making this book reach out to the right people. And I truly, truly appreciate it. So let's get into our topic, getting back on track. I think it's something I really need to explain. Like, why did I choose to go for this topic? Getting back on track is something I've been trying to do for the past few days or past few weeks, if I, in fact. A lot of us may not always have a smooth journey in regards to our goals. It's almost impossible to have a smooth journey. Doesn't matter what goals you may have. It could be a money goal, like what we talk about in the show. It could be your happiness. It could be your health. It could be anything really. There's definitely going to be obstacles. There's definitely going to be moments where you did not work on what you're supposed to work on and you've gone astray. And then you realize, oh God, I've missed what I was supposed to do. Let me get back on track. And this is something I personally have been doing. And I also, a lot of people that I work with have been encountering as well. With regards to finance, I think it's something very, very interesting because a lot of people tend to get scared and not get back on track, and things just get worse and worse every day. So I wanted to talk about this so that if you are someone who is struggling to get back on track, if you are someone who is like, wait a minute, I used to do my budgeting, I'm not doing it. I used to track my finance, I'm not doing it. I had all these good habits about money, something has gone wrong. If you're beginning to have that uneasy feeling, I hope this episode helps you to really think back as to what's happening and kind of like help you take the next step so that you can come out of it as well. So if you guys are watching and you have any questions about any part of it, drop it in the chat box. I would love to answer your questions. So before we go into that, I see some of our audiences already saying hi. Hello guys, nice to meet all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Money Matters. It truly means a lot. Awesome. So recently I had a chat with one of the people that I work with regards to their finances, and they were basically saying, "Actually, wow, there's so many people saying hello. Thank you so much, guys. Keep it coming." And this particular person that I met, a client of mine, was saying that, oh, everything has gone off. Like what the tracking that I was going is gone off. I have a credit card. I've spent too much on it. Like everything's gone wrong, and like whatever progress I've made is gone. So it was a very interesting conversation for me, and I thought there were a lot of tidbits that I got in between that conversation that I thought we can talk about and share about here. And a few other people that I've been working with also brought that up. So with regards to getting back on track, I think the first thing you got to do is to recognize that you're off track. Like if you don't know you're off track, you're never going to get back on track. And this is the issue with most people. Like most people will not know that they're off track. So if you're a student, you will understand this. Every let's say for example, you have your midterm exams. I think some of you are going to be having your final exams in January, and you know the exams are coming. So when you sit for an exam and you do the paper, and let's say if you know everything that's in the paper or most of the things, or at least a little bit of it, then you know you have been studying what you need to be studying, you're doing good or not. After the exam comes, results come out, you know where you are with regards to the syllabus. And you can assess yourself. Let's say you don't do as well as you expected. You know you're off track. And now you go like, oh, wait, okay, I'm off track. I need to do something about it. So that is what things like exams do for us, right? Like it actually helps us think about like, hey, what have I done wrong? Okay, maybe I need to fix something. Maybe I need to revise this annoying chapter about elements in chemistry that I need to go and revise on. So it will help you to figure out what is wrong. For finances, most of us may not know what is going wrong. We won't even realize it that we are going wrong. So how do you recognize whether you're going wrong? Is to first have a check. Just like how schools decided to set an exam for you. I know a lot of people may not like what I say. They do serve a purpose. They do help us in some way. So as adults, we don't have teachers chasing after us with exam questions. But we can set like a check for ourselves to go through, is everything okay? Just to check that. Like for myself, what I do is I track my finances and all of that. But once a month, I always set a time to key in all of my finances, see how much I spent in that month, how much money I have left, do I have enough money for whatever is coming next month. I will actually spend about 1 to 2 hours at the end of the month just to see what I did for that month. And with all of you guys, with December already here, we are also at the end of the year. So it's not just a month, it's the end of the past 1 year. I know time has passed very fast. So sit down with yourself for at least an hour, put down whatever has happened with regards to your finances, and just look at it like what's going on. Have I spent more than what I earned? Recently, I sat down with one of my clients and I said, you have saved an additional 100 ringgit compared to the beginning of the year. And he just went, stared at me and went like, but I literally just put 1,000 ringgit into my savings. What do you mean I've only saved 100 ringgit? And I said, that's true. When the year started, you had a certain amount of money. When the year ended, you have this amount of money. In between, you took out some money, you added some money, and all of that happened. So overall, the net effect is you increased it by 100. And he just went like, oh, okay, I did not expect that. So sitting down, just seeing the truth as it is with the numbers definitely helps us a lot with regards to accepting we are off track. Because if you don't know whether you're off track, and if you don't accept that you're off track, it's going to be so hard to fix anything. So that's the first thing you gotta do. You just have to make it into a ritual, something that you do, attach it to something that happens at the end of every month. Some of you young adults may have, let's say, rental to pay. Like for me, I get my salary at the end of the month. I have all my expenses, bills to pay at the beginning of the month. For example, I have to pay my rent, I have to pay my phone bill, I have to pay, put aside some money in my savings. There's a few things that I do at the end of every month. So what I do is I attach this timing I spend to pay all of this. I attach it together with my checking. So both of this happens at the same time. Now there is no choice. I have to pay my rent. I'm not going to skip on my rent. So while I do that, I'm also checking on what has happened on my finances. So first step, I'm going to drop a banner in the chat in a while. The first step is, of course, finding out whether you're on track or not. And how do you do that is have a checking mechanism so that you can actually figure out whether you are on track or off track. So have a checking mechanism. That would be my first thing ever. Have an exam for yourself. Be the teacher now. You are the one who's in charge of setting an exam for yourself. So if you're a student who's watching this, you'll be like, Madhura, I don't have like 1,000 ringgit, 2,000 ringgit, 3,000 ringgit to care about. I only get like 2-3 ringgit per day or 5 ringgit per day from my parents and usually I spend it off on food. So what's the big deal? What am I supposed to check? If you're a student and you're watching and you're like, yeah, you're saying this, I would say even the amount of money you spend on food, even if it's just buying stationaries, write everything down, put everything down, and at the end of the month, just put a total figure. How much did my parents give me? Okay, my parents give me XX amount of allowance. Okay, great. How much of that allowance did I save? If there's no savings, that's something you can look into. Or let's say you have savings. Okay, you saved XX amount, which is how much of the total. So let's say 10% of what you got from your parents. Amazing progress already. Then you see how much you spent on food, how much you spent on, I don't know, the random stuff that you would buy outside the school at the all the kropo. Like I used to be obsessed with mommy, so I used to spend a lot of money on that. You can actually like list all of this down and try to see what you did for that month. Always, always, always have a checking mechanism. All right. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Such nice comments. Really appreciate it. Off track lah, but still don't want to face the facts. That is so true. That is what all of us do. We know we are off track, like we can sense it. Like for exams, right? You know you haven't been studying a lot. You know you should be revising, but you're not revising. You're having fun with your friends. You're doing all that stuff, and then when the exam comes, you're like, oh, I'm caught. So I'm just saying, don't wait for somebody to catch you. Do it yourself. Off track too, fear of facing the fact. I love this. You know what? I'm gonna address this, which is what do you do if you have the fear? I think a lot of us won't be able to go for the exam. Like for example, sit down and look at what has happened because we are so scared. Like what is If we look at the numbers, then we know we are wrong. We are definitely going to have to fix it, and it's not going to be fun fixing it. So you have a lot of fear and all of that. The first, I think, one thing that I personally have learned, or I've been trying to learn, is to count your wins. So what do I mean by that? You are a human being. None of us are perfect. None of us can get everything right. None of us are awesome at money management. We will make mistakes. And if you are like me, you would always, let's say you got an exam paper, you'd always see how many questions you got wrong. Like, for example, if there's 100 questions, oh, I got 80 marks or 60 marks even. I got 40 questions wrong. What is wrong with me? That is the first thought that will come to your head. Or you'll go and check all your wrong answers and see why did you, oh shit, how can I get that wrong? It's such a simple question or such a careless mistake. That is what we usually do when we sit for exams and all of that. Similarly, as adults, when you check your finances, you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I spent so much on my credit card. I always do this. I don't seem to know how to save. I just can never save enough money. We tend to count all the wrong things that we do, which is good. It is important to be aware of them. But if you want to be like not have the fear holding you back, if you don't want to continue to fall behind because you're so scared to deal with the truth, you need to make it a bit more fun for yourself. You need to make it a bit more appetizing for yourself in a way to deal with money. So the only way you can do that is to count your wins. You need to count all the things you did right, not just the ones you did wrong. So for example, if you are someone who managed to actually earn money for the month, that's a win, because most people don't make money. Like, or they'll be lazy to go and do marketing, or they wouldn't have done something right. If you did manage to do it, good job. That is already a win. Of course, if you did not hit your target, that's an area of improvement for you. So put it down as, what are my wins and what is my area of improvement? This is something I learned from our upcoming guest speaker. He'll be speaking on our next episode. His name is Levent, and he's a really, really good friend. And he actually shared with me about that. You don't call them as losses or failure, it's area of improvement. So count your wins, count your area of improvement. And the more you do this and get used to doing it, it's going to be easier to go back into the finance. You won't get too scared that you don't want to look at it. So even if you're a student, even don't always count what you get right and what you can be improving. Don't get caught up in how many things you have done wrong, because the more you do it, it's going to get bad. All right. So that is the next thing that I want to talk about. So our first step is, of course, have a checking mechanism. Second one is count your wins and improvement areas. The more you do this, the more progress you're going to make. The more you count your failures, the more annoying and hard it's going to be getting. So count your wins and improvement areas. That would be my next take for all of you guys. The third one is, just like how when studying you need somebody to mark your exam paper, just like how when you're in school you need somebody to teach you what is the right way to answer a certain question, or what is this syllabus all about. Like, if you went to, let's just imagine, you go to Tadika and you, or preschool, and you need to learn your ABCs yourself. Can you imagine that? Like, you see all these alphabets, like you decide what sound they are and you just decide to learn it yourself. You can imagine how chaotic it will be. One kid will say it's ABC, but another kid may not even say A is A. The kid will say something else. So it's almost impossible for us to think we can learn this ourselves. Like, somebody needs to teach us our ABC. Somebody needs to teach us our 1, 2, 3. If you're in form 5, somebody needs to teach you your chemistry or your economics or your accounts or arts and all of that. Somebody has to guide us and teach us in every aspect of our lives. But when it comes to money, we tend to go like, you know what, I'm shy to get somebody to teach me. I am going to decide what is best for me because I am awesome. We tend to go into that zone. It's not that easy. Just like how you have to learn everything else, you also need to be willing to learn with regards to money, and find someone who is either more experienced, more wiser or more knowledgeable, or actually knows how it works, has more experience in that particular area, and go to them. For example, I don't know how to swim, but if I decide to go swimming now, I am going to drown, and I need to find myself a teacher if I want to swim better. I don't know, I want to swim for the Olympics. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it myself. I'm going to definitely need a coach who can guide me on how to swim and make it happen. I apologize for the swimming example because I was watching a movie on Netflix with regards to swimming. But yeah, you would definitely get a coach to guide you. Same way, get a coach, get a mentor, get somebody to guide you on your finances, because you would not know everything. Of course, your coach is not going to know everything either, but it's going to be way more helpful to have somebody teach you and cover most of the things, so that then you can make mistakes and learn from it. And you don't waste a lot of time learning the making mistakes on the basic stuff. So be open minded enough to go and reach out to people who can guide you on your finances, and find the right teacher. If your goal is to be someone who doesn't take too much, manages with what you have, learns how to live within your means, if that's your goal and that's what you want to do with money, find someone who can do it. You don't want to find a teacher who's like extravagantly spending on everything. You don't want that kind of teacher. So you need to be very careful on who is your coach, who's your teacher, because what kind of style are they looking at is very, very important when you learn from them. So for example, all of you guys, especially you students who are watching Money Matters right now, in a way, indirectly, you are coming here to learn, and you are indirectly being taught by me. But this is not the only avenue for you guys. There's so many different avenues for you guys to learn about money and all of that. So find your teachers, make sure you're learning from the right person, and be open-minded enough to learn from them, especially if you're young. Your whole world is open to you. The more you learn, the more fun it's going to be. And of course, the next thing is to take that learning and apply it. So don't just get a coach. Okay, thank you, coach. Very nice learning from you, and then you don't apply it. You want to apply it as well. So look into the next step of applying. So before we go into applying, once again, the third step. I think the first one was have a checking mechanism. Second one is count your wins and improvement areas. Third one is get a mentor or coach. I shall put the word coach. I don't know. It sounds super cool when you say coach. Yeah, get a coach. It makes a huge difference. I think my own journey of learning and managing my money, managing my happiness, managing everything else in my life has only been successful or going good because of my mentor and my coach. So if I'm not having that person there, it's going to be so much more harder for me to make progress, because I don't know where to make progress or what am I supposed to be changing. So that's my third point for all of you. Now, the fourth one that I want to talk about before we go into the last one, which is the application of it, is environment. So recently, one of my clients was sitting with me, and he said, like, okay, um, recently, I don't know why everything went wrong. Like all my finance stuff has gone wrong, and I was like, okay, very interesting that so much of things went wrong. Then I asked, actually, what have you been doing in these past few weeks? Like, what has been going on with you? Then he said, oh, actually, I started to spend more time with my older friends. I've gone back to hanging out with them. I've gone back to, doing what I used to do a year ago, a whole lot more. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Why did you choose to do it? And he said, it got so uncomfortable to be in this new way of habit patterns and all that. I just wanted something nice, familiar for me. So I went back to the old way of doing things. I started spending time with my old friends and all of that. Very interesting. The moment he started doing that, just at the same time, his finance habits started to go back to what it used to be, which is spending a lot more, spending more than what he earns, using credit card to pay for expenses. All those things started coming back up, which is very interesting. So if you guys have friends, I don't know, but I'm sure all of you have friends, you will actually be very much influenced by what your friends do. For example, when I was in studying in college, my friends all would love to. I studied at Sunway University, so if you guys are familiar with Sunway University area, they have like food courts and all out there. I could always choose to just go to the food court, get a mixed rice, pay 7-8 ringgit, maybe 9 ringgit for my meal, have that meal, go back to class. Life would have been great. But there were many times I would choose to go out with some of my classmates who would love to go to Sunway Pyramid, which is a mall nearby my college, to have their lunch. Did I have the money to be having like a 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit meal every day? I did not. But I would still do it. Even though I knew clear cut I did not have the money, I would still take the decision to go out and hang out with my friends at the mall. So now when I look back, I was like, why did I do that? Like, what was wrong with me? It's not that I don't know maths. I know my maths. I know I must spend within what I have. I know that it's not a good idea to spend the 20, 30 ringgit on a meal every day. But I still did it. I know all of these things. I still did it. It makes no sense. So when I think back, the reason why it actually happened, or why I still made that wrong decision to go out and spend a whole lot more on food money that I did not have, is because of environment. The people we are surrounding ourselves with influence almost everything. Even not, it's not directly influencing you, it's just through the vibes, it's just through how the crowd moves. It's like if you're walking in an escalator and everyone chooses to stand on the right, somehow you will follow to choose to stand on the right. But if let's say it's an escalator where everyone just like doesn't care, just stands wherever they want to stand, you will also do the same thing. So crossing the road, you see some people crossing the road with hands, you'll be like, okay, that's the way to go. So I'm gonna cross the road with my hands. Or some maybe like I recently went overseas and everybody used the crosswalk, the zebra crossing to cross the road. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I also chose to do that. Like I actually followed the zebra crossing and the traffic lights and all of that because that's what people do there. It's the environment. So, what an environment is makes a huge difference on how we choose to spend money or make money and view money and all of these things, invest money and all of that. So, your environment, the people you surround yourself with, is going to make a huge difference. So, if you are someone who comes from an environment where there's not enough money, everybody is like, oh my God, there's not enough money. Anything you say, oh, no money for that. If that's how they talk and that's the way they behave around money, and you are in that environment, you will also behave the same way. For students, this works in education as well. So if you're studying and let's say your group of friends hate physics, just hate it, and you sit with them, I can guarantee you, even if it's your most favorite subject, you will start hating it at one point because of how people keep talking around you. So it you will get an influence by who is around you. Nobody is so good that they do not get influenced. Very few people have that level of maturity, do not get influenced. So if you what you should do is take conscious effort to find the right environment, right group of people who will be able to influence you in the right way that you want. So if you want to be like, I have an abundance mindset, we are able to do what we set our mind to, find the group of people who can do that. For example, I think all of you here who are watching, right now you guys are in an environment of learning. Like in Money Matters Show, all of you who are tuning in, you are in the right environment of learning. So when you're here, you'll be excited to learn and all of that. But so that is what I mean by environment. So I see somebody saying, if enough time can prepare the meals myself. Yes, you can. It's even more easier if you're, let's say, the people you live with, if you are with your family, if your family is the type that will tapao, cook at home, pack everything, and then they go to school, work also, parents also tapao to work, kids also tapao to school. If you come from that kind of family, it's so easy for you to tapao. But let's say if your family doesn't cook, like you guys never are in the kitchen, and then you suddenly decide to, I'm going to start cooking from today onwards, and I'm going to like make sure I bring the food to school. I can guarantee you it's going to be so hard for you. So you can whatever you try to do will be influenced by your environment. So find the right group of people who can influence you in the right way. Hanaku said, but you still spend money on preparing the ingredient. Yes, that is true. Getting the ingredients and a lot more time cooking the meal. So you pick which way you want to cook or eat and all of that. But regardless of what you guys choose, do what is beneficial for you and will bring you closer to your goals. So fourth point, after our have a checking mechanism, count your wins and improvement areas, get a mentor and coach. Of course, the fourth point is find the right environment. Siapa tadi? think this is one of my favorites. It is so powerful, guys. Even if you don't do any other step that I said, just do this one step. It will change your life. It has changed my life. I don't know about the rest of the world. It has changed my life. So if you, even if you don't find a mentor, you don't do any of the rest of the things, find a group of people that are doing what you want to be doing, are as successful as you want to be, and be in that environment. Your life will change for sure. All right. Last point. I think I don't want to make this episode too long. The last thing that I wanted to share is about taking action, which is very hard. Let's be honest, it's so hard to take action and all of that. So, what I want you guys to do is take one small step towards your one goal. What do I mean by that? When it comes to finance, if you're like me, you'll get very excited. For example, I want to go for a holiday to like 10 different countries right now. Like, I want to go to Japan, I want to go to India, I want to go to European countries, I want to visit South American countries. There's so many countries in the world, and I want to go to all of them because it's so much of fun to travel. That's number one. Or I also want the latest gadgets. I want a really cool laptop. I want a really cool table, chair, whatever. Lah. We all have a lot of dreams and goals with regards to money. For more technical stuff with regards to money, some of you may want to have savings, a certain amount of money saved up. Some of you may want to have investments. Some of you want to retire at age 35, 40, and all that kind of stuff. You have a lot of goals. Just like me, I have a lot of goals that I want to hit with regards to money. But the problem is, when you have too many goals, it's hard to focus. It's like you go to a candy store and there's just so many candies everywhere, and you don't know what you like. You're going to struggle to buy a candy. You will be there for 1 hour and you still won't know what to buy. And we don't want that. We want you to make progress towards the right candy. So you got to choose what's your most important goal. Take one goal at a time and really work towards it. So for example, if you're a young adult, I would say some of the most important things you should be focusing on is having your emergency fund and sinking fund, like savings to take care of emergencies in case things go wrong, especially with 2023 expected to be the recession year. A lot of people are losing jobs. It's not looking good right now in terms of the economy. You should be prepared. You should be saving up money and all of that. So let's say that is your goal. I want to have 10,000 ringgit in savings. I want to have 6 months emergency funds in savings, whatever it may be. Focus on that one goal and work towards it. Only that one goal and work towards it. Like, for example, recently I had a goal of like paying off a debt. Not recently, quite some time back, but paying off a loan that I had. And I just, whatever money I got, I keep putting my money towards that loan so that even if I get extra income, anything happen, oh, nice holiday, I see, still I focus on paying off that loan. Because I did that, I can reach that goal much faster than anybody else. And I've seen people who have paid off like 50,000, 80,000 loan in like 2 years. It's amazing what people can do when they focus. So pick one goal and take one small step towards it. For students, you may be like, I don't have any loan to pay. What am I supposed to set as my goal? Fine, that is more than okay. Maybe you have a goal, for example, to get a certain book. I was obsessed with books, so buying books was my thing. Maybe some of you would want to invest into a concert ticket because you've always wanted to go for a concert. I know some of us would want to travel. So let's say you want to travel to a nearby country in Southeast Asia, and that's something you've always wanted to do. Set a goal and start saving money towards it. Maybe whenever you do errands and you send or you get ang pao or not, you save towards a goal, because the more you do it, the better you're going to get at taking action towards your goal. And let's say you hit one goal, you're going to be confident that you can hit your goals, and then the next one will be easier, and the next one will be easier and easier. It just keeps getting easier. So pick a goal. Doesn't matter what background you're on. You may be a parent who has kids and like there seems to be too many things to be done. Pick one goal first. Maybe it is to pay off your credit card. Maybe it is to be debt free, so no loans, no credit card or whatnot. Maybe it is for you to have a certain amount of savings. Maybe it is to have enough money to pay for your child's education. Doesn't matter what your goal is. Pick one goal and focus on it. It could even be a smaller goal, like going for a holiday, having 1000 ringgit in my bank account. It could be any smaller goal as well, but pick it and start taking action towards it. So what kind of actions can you take? Don't take big actions like I am going to take whatever I earn and I'm going to put it towards my savings. I will not eat for the next 1 month. Please don't do that. Take small steps. So let's say you've never saved money in your life, save 5 ringgit. That's a miracle already. And I know the last time somebody told me this, I never followed it. But hopefully you guys won't make the mistakes I made and actually take that small step. Even if it's 5 ringgit per month, save that 5 ringgit. And every month, increase it by 1 ringgit. Next thing you know, you'll be reaching your goals. So, one last recap, have a checking mechanism. If you don't know what's going wrong, you're not going to fix it. You got to know what's going wrong. You have to sit for your exams to know whether you are understanding the subject or not understanding the subject. Count your wins and improvement areas. So don't just count all the mistakes you have made in life and feel sad about it, because nothing good comes out of that. Count all the things you have done right so that you do more of it, and look at all the things you should be doing right or should be improving on, and think how can you do it. Have that discussion in your mind with yourself so that you continue to improve. Third, you cannot do this yourself. You are going to need help, especially if your finances are not okay. Don't think you can solve a problem. Just remember this: if you don't know how to swim, you cannot jump into the sea and expect to survive. You got to get a coach who can teach you how to swim so that you can survive in the sea. So find a coach, find a mentor who can guide you with regards to your finances. Number four, find the right environment, the group of people that you surround yourself with, the group of people that you talk to every day, the kind of people you meet every day. They are going to decide what kind of life you lead. So if you want a successful one, find people who are working towards being successful or already are successful, because then only you'll be able to achieve it. Last but not least, take a small step. Let me put that down in the banner. Take a small step towards one goal. That's the keyword. One goal. Pick one goal that you want to focus on. Because let's be honest, there's just going to be way too many things. So pick one, work towards it. Hit that goal. Feel good. You're going to continue doing it more. You got to give yourself more wins so that it becomes fun to work on finance. If not, you're going to hate your finances, which is the last thing we want in Money Matters, because it does matter. And it's something we all should be managing with a whole lot more happiness and not so much of fear. So hopefully for those of you who have been watching, who have been off track, it may not all 5 steps may not resonate with you, but I'm sure one of it does. So take action on one of the steps. Pick one that you want to work on. Go back to it and start taking action. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for Monday. Take action on a Sunday and get started with regards to your money management. So thank you so much for all of you guys for watching. I had a lot of fun today, even though I'm talking with myself. And the audience, you guys have been great, putting down the comments and all. If you are still here, drop a comment on what was your favorite part of today's session. Like, what was your biggest takeaway? Which one you want to work on? Because I'm very curious to know which one resonates with you guys. So I know it's a lot to ask, but just quickly type out what you like. What is one step that you would like to implement? Put it down in the chat box. And I hope to bring you guys more stuff, more amazing content on Money Matters. If there's a topic that you're looking for, drop a DM on my social media at the real Mathura, and I would love to kind of explore that topic with you guys. We have an amazing topic and speaker coming up in 2 weeks' time, which is going to be don't make money your goal, which is completely contradictory to what we discussed today, but it's a very, very amazing topic. So do join us for our future Money Matters sessions. If you guys don't know how to join it, in the description of this video, we have the Telegram group link. You can hit the Telegram group link, join the group. Every episode will be updated there. So I hope to see you guys in the group as well. And stay tuned. Stay tuned for all of our updates. I am so excited to bring you guys amazing new speakers on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you guys had fun. And we'll see you at the next Money Matters episode.